So about how many years have you been sober up to this point?
About 5.5 years that I've been totally sober from all drugs and medication. Badass mountain men, grizzly bear fighting, huckleberry eating, mountain hiking, rainbow trout killing, mean mountain. I'm done, bro.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
The interviewing emotions is powerful.
What an amazing spot. We're just hanging out in Montana with my nephew, and we're just talking about how powerful it is to come out, be in the outdoors, hike, exercise, get your blood going. Health is so important for your mental state. If you've struggled with addiction, if you've struggled with depression, PTSD, and you got to get out. You got to build relationships. You got to get your body right. You got to exert some effort. It ain't easy. It ain't going to come easy. Mentally, emotionally, and most certainly not physically. If you want to really make that jump, you got to put in the work. So we've been hiking this mountain, a couple miles up the hill, beautiful scenery. I feel amazing. Who needs drugs and alcohol when you got this, man? Dude, this is what one of the sweetest little snacks in the world right here. Little huckleberries are just barely ready yet. Right here's one that's pretty close to ready. Thank you, Jesus. From where I was at when I relapsed and the growth that I've made, the majority of it is just settling deep within yourself that I can never do drugs. Not I will never. Never say I will never, but I can never. I can't. Not because I physically can't, but because the risk is too great. So I've convinced myself, fully, deeply convinced myself I can never do drugs. I thought I had convinced myself that when I came out of rehab and I was 8 months sober, but I had the little relapse, and it was like, you know, God gave me a little slap with reality. It could happen to anybody. You know, a lot of people, when they come out of addiction, they go into other extreme things because they're looking for that dopamine drip. They're adrenaline junkies. They're looking for the rush. They can't live a normal life. And I've always said I can never live a normal life. You know what? You really can't live a normal life after you come out of addiction. And you have to accept that. But you come up here, you push the limits a little bit. You do something a little bit out of the ordinary and get out of your comfort zone. I'm telling you guys, there's nothing more powerful for your brain, your mental stimulation, feeling good about yourself, feeling good about what you can achieve. Here's a quick story about one of the rehabs I went to, third or fourth one. I went to Washington State to a horse ranch where they did like horse therapy, right? You had your own horse assigned to you and you had to take care of it and you had to ride your horse every day. And I didn't sleep, guys. I was there for 35 days. The first 7 days I did not sleep. One of the most extreme sleep deprivation I've ever been in. Like my central nervous system was completely effed up, right? It was one of the most awful experiences in my life. And I remember like 3 to 4 days in, I'm threatening to like tear my eyeballs out. I'm threatening to tear my hair out. I'm standing up on the porch railing, threatening to jump off the railing. Was I serious? I don't know, but I was losing my mind. The ranch was right next to a river, and I decided I'm going to go running at this trail alongside of the river. As I got further back, they were starting to flood, and there was water in the trail. Well, I wasn't going back to the house where I was threatening to jump off the deck, right? So I kept running. And water came up to my ankles. Then it came halfway to my knees. And I'm 2 miles from the house. I'm way back this trail. The water is dang near up to my knees. And I'm so exhausted and miserable. I started screaming at the top of my lungs. I can still remember hearing my voice reverberate off the mountain and off the river down there, just releasing something. And that story ends. I got home that night, and they actually took someone else's prescription of sleeping meds and gave them to me. For some reason, they gave me like 2 or 3 of them, these strong sleeping meds. They're like, I hope this guy can sleep, because I was losing it. These people were about to take me to the nut house. And they're like, how you feeling, Jason? I'm like, I might be a little bit tired. So I stood up, and I started heading for the bedroom, and all of a sudden, everything blacked out, right? I remember taking about 3 stumbles, and I fell face down right into the doorknob. The doorknob hit me right in the head and split my head wide open. I laid out on the floor, almost completely knocked out. Still don't know what happened to this day, but somehow that sleeping med hit me and knocked me cold. I slept about an hour and a half that night, so that's one of my wildest stories in rehab. You know what? I definitely am human, and I know I could slip back. So it's not like I would say, I never say never. That's one thing I learned. For me, the only way I'm not going to slip back is to stay engaged in something bigger than myself. Instead of living in this outward state where everything is about what I can get, a better job, a bigger house, a better car, I can live from the inside out. And I'm always worried about what can I do for my community. I'm on the central committee. I go to our town hall meetings at the fire department. We go to other meetings. We help campaigns. We're doing things. And I think that's the most incredible thing about my story is that I never thought that I could come this far from it. I always thought I would struggle with it on a daily. Man, I feel like I'm a long ways from addiction. You know, I don't even really think about using. I don't feel like I'm anywhere near it. For me, finding something to have meaning and purpose in my life has been way more powerful than the urge to go use. So if I were to stop doing those things or feeling like I had an impact in the community, I think I probably would fall back. January 2018, I was out here for 6 days. I had a short relapse where I used for a few weeks, and I could see the progression. I saw the homelessness right in front of me. I saw me losing everything again after I'd worked so hard to get it. And so I got a ticket. I came out to my sister's, and I just remember on the train ride out, I started detoxing. I started panicking on the train. At one point, I was sitting in the lounge car, sobbing, just literally sobbing. Someone came up, sat up next to me, somebody I didn't even know, put their arm around me, and just got me out here. And then out here, I didn't sleep. Went through absolute hell, but I did it. I recognized that. And I feel like that's what I've learned, is I've learned to recognize the signs. I'm getting bored, I'm getting overwhelmed. Back when I was drinking, I could even recognize I'm drinking too much, and that's why I totally quit drinking. So recognizing the signs, man. Don't ignore those signs, and it's so important to be healthy because your gut is your health, and your gut is your instinct. It literally comes out of the same place, and you listen to your intuition. You know, for me, it's the Holy Spirit in my life, and I listen to those signs, and they have protected me from a lot of trouble. You know, and then just as important is who I hang out with, right? So if I'm going to the bar, if I'm going out and hanging out with people that are partying, it's a lot more difficult. I went through a season where I was going to the lake, and everybody at the lake was on their golf carts and drinking, and I started drinking. So while it's not the same as drugs, and it did not pull me into drugs like some people, it was very risky to get drunk late at night. And over the last year, I've been able to totally distance myself from alcohol too, because I recognize what I need to do to stay sober with finding my purpose is not hardly possible when I'm drinking, when I'm hungover, when I don't feel good. All those things that I do to be in a good mental state so I can live from the inside out. Alcohol was just like a poison, man. And so I've completely quit drinking as well. You know, one of the things that I've learned about coming out of addiction is that when you first get sober, your mind, so many things are changing in your body. And if you want to fall in love, you want to have a girlfriend, you want to go on dates because you're seeking that craving, you're seeking something to excite you, right? That rush that we're used to having, and often the only thing you got is the girl that you can go out with. But the problem with that is you are trying to find acceptance from an outside source. And again, you're living from the outside in, you're looking out to make yourself feel better. You're doing things, taking things, you know, instead of living from the inside out. And then that's when you're successful in a relationship. That's when you have the most amazing women drawn to you, when you're living from the inside out, because your identity here is already established. And if you are not living like that, but you're reaching out here to a girl to bring you identity, oh, it's all bad news, man. It almost always goes downhill. It causes tragedy. And if it happens, you break up with a relationship within a year of being sober and you're heartbroken, what is the chance that you're going to relapse? Pretty damn good. Ain't worth it. So find other things. You'll get there. You'll get there. But those aren't going to last. Those aren't going to hold you over. Those aren't going to bring you the joy and the fulfillment and give you purpose like other things that you need to be finding. The gym is a monster, man. Work out. Like, I always say the gym and Jesus saved my life, man. And I really believe that. But I think the most important thing is to make sure that you find some me time. For some of those of us who have been addicted and we like to run hard, I always said I'm like a diesel engine, right? I started hard, but man, I went down hard and I ran fast. And so at the end of the day, to sit down and fully relax and to be able to do that, and really it's a state of meditation. To be able to do that is the most powerful therapeutic thing that anybody could find, is to go be able to be by yourself. I like to fish. So if I have a fishing pole in my hand, then I'm pretty good. I haven't discovered the full meditation where I can sit there in total peace and silence. I can do it for maybe 15 minutes. But I'm telling you, it's very healthy. It's extremely powerful. It's very healthy. And I don't think you understand, most of us understand what it does to bring us back to a state of center instead of always going hard. You work, you're trying to make every dollar you can. Find a place to be still. And I don't care if it costs you money. You have to find a way to find that peace and quiet. There is no cost too great to find that peace and quiet, and to find the quiet time and the me time, and to get off work on a Friday night and you're not trying to go to the bar and you're not trying to party, and you're going to go to your quiet place. Maybe you'd rather do something else, but go to your quiet place, man. Go find that space. Go be good at being alone, or you'll never make it. For me, it was all about doing what was in front of me. You think in small increments. You cannot think big picture. I've always been go big or go home, all or nothing. And you know what? That mindset is very dangerous when you are trying to learn new habits and you're coming from one stage of your life into another. You have to start somewhere. I had an opportunity to start a Patriot group. We started a group. We meet every week in Canton, Ohio. We the people, and we have speakers, but we just started small. We didn't know what was going to happen. We just started small. And and then the next thing in front of me, at one time we had a speaker there and he talked about local government. And then I was very inspired by that. And I ran for my county central committee and I was elected. And so do what's in front of you and you will move into the next phase. It's a guarantee. If you do what's in front of you, you're going to continue to move forward. It is stressful to feel like I'm in this position of, I have some responsibility from being an elected official and then leading a group and being part of campaigns, and it can be very stressful. And so as I grow and learn, I would hope to, in 2 or 3 years, that I would have the family side of my life that I want would be much more clear. My focus is 2 to 3 years in government and then the next 20 for me personally.
Where do people find you on social media?
Most of my social media is Instagram. Instagram's a lot easier. I do a lot of Instagram. Twisted Miller. Jason D. Miller, YouTube. Jason Miller on Facebook. My Rumble channel is Patriots Awakening. We all know social media, Facebook, YouTube, they're coming after us. I'm on a restriction from Facebook right now. So, hey guys, so I'm actually thinking about starting a podcast, a little more than just a Facebook Live off my phone. What do you guys think, man? Ideas on where I could post it, what I could talk about, guests I could have on. We were just talking about, what if I had a podcast and I had my local officials on? Imagine me interviewing my mayor. And so, excited about it. I've been talking about doing it. My nephew is maybe going to give me some ideas on equipment. And we're going to bring some real professional content. So give me some ideas, guys, where I could post, guests I could have, and political commentary, right? There's always something crazy. What the heck news? There's always some of that crazy news that I can commentate on. So I might do that, guys. Give me some ideas.
My name is Maximus Meridius. My vengeance will be taken in this life or the next against this tornado. I will have my vengeance now. Yes. You destroy what hurts you. You don't stop. You go after it. You never quit. Never back down, never give up, never sit down and never shut up until you find what you need to feel good about yourself and make sure.
This is stupid.